went, they didn't go nowhere. They didn't go up South Street. They didn't go over Jerusalem. They didn't go around the Temple Mount. They went right straight to the temple. They walked in, they went through the court of the Gentiles, and as they was about to get there, they saw a covey. They saw 3 or 4 priests that were standing there. And there was Jesus sitting right there in the middle of them. As they got closer, they were scratching their heads. And they were just astonished at this kid, this 12-year-old. He ain't a kid no more, he's a young man. As he was asking these questions, I was absolutely angry. I said, Jesus! What in the world are you doing? You've got us all scared. I can't believe you do this. Then he looked up with those eyes. He said, don't you know I have to be about my Father's business? I thought I would die. I said, Jesus, come on. Here we went. I almost cried. But man, there's something special about him. You know, the Bible's pretty solid on the years that happened after. They're not important. I want to tell you some things about the dreams. There's two Josephs in the Bible that's talked about a lot, and they were dreamers. Do you know both their dads were Jacob? The one in the Old Testament, he had a dream early in life about what God was going to make out of him. I didn't. All I had was someone leading me to protect this boy that was so special. You know, the church has treated me pretty good. You know, the Catholic Church, they venerate me. They lift me up. They call me the, what's the word? I'm trying to think of the word. I can't think of the word. I've lost the word, really. What's the priest? Over what? Can't think of it. Lord, my mind just went blank. I am I'm the patron saint. Thank you. You know, they've made me the patron saint over fathers. I did have others, but the one that made me over, I didn't have nothing to do with. I did raise him. They made me the patron saint of fathers. So every time people pray, to this day, y'all singing about Jesus 2,000 years later, excited. But the patron saint of fathers, that's me. Only thing I had to do with it was just follow what God told me to do. Also, I'm the patron saint of the dead, and I don't have that one figured out. But if they want to do that, that's fine. But here's the key. Dreams are just one way of God communicating with other people. It's one way of God letting us know. God wants to speak to us all. I was special. I was in a special place. It was not a special place because it was an out-of-the-way place. It was hidden from the world. But God chose Mary. And for some reason, God chose me to be honored, to carry, and to raise up his son. And I tell you, there's probably no greater reward in heaven than that. But I want you to understand something. I said it to the lady that I was praying, the preacher that prayed for the woman a while ago. Our courage is our faith in God. I can't tell you that every day that I was strong in my faith and I knew what I was doing, but I knew when God spoke to me. I was acquainted with that dream. I was acquainted with that angel. And I knew when he said something, I better listen. And let me tell you, when you get sensitive with God, and when you get close to God, God's going to speak to you. I can guarantee you. He spoke to Phil. He spoke to me. He spoke to you. God has a way of speaking to you. And when he does, listen. Be willing not to argue with God, but simply say, God, even if I don't understand, God, I follow you. It is amazing how God uses people and uses things to accomplish his purpose. God knows what He's doing. And God knows what He's doing in your life. You may feel like that you've missed out on life. You've messed up in life. You've lost any hope of fulfilling life. But this one thing I can tell you, God is able to touch you where you are. He's able to establish your feet. He's able to change you. He's able to pull you out of the miry clay, and He's able to put your feet on solid ground. He's able to take what the world says is no good, and He's able to make it precious and priceless. The many people that God has called, the world just had cast off. But understand this, whom the Lord has called, whom the Lord guides, He will provide. If the Lord is leading you, don't worry how it's going to happen. Just know that every day I'm going to follow Him. And as He unfolds it, I'm going to see how the flower blossoms. I'm going to see how the tree grows. I'm going to see how the work happens. And I'm going to look back and say, I didn't see how it came, but it's here. I didn't see how I could be part of His plan. But by simply saying, God, whatever it is you want me to do, I'll do it. His will is accomplished. If you do what God wants you to do, His will be accomplished. Do you receive it? At this time, I think Brother Field has